I've said for a while that if I was John McCain, and Barack Obama chose a man, that I would definitely choose a woman vice president. So call me a genius, because McCain followed the same line of thinking, and it led him straight to a charming, beautiful, fundamentalist, creationism in schools, anti-stem cell research, anti-gay, global warming, denying disaster named Sarah Palin. I really, really want a woman president, but next year, when John McCain's, God forbid, brain falls out of his mouth onto his dinner plate, the first female president will be so unfit for the position that it will resemble an 80s movie where some kid like Fred Savage accidentally becomes the president. I know that's mean, but this woman doesn't just lack experience, she lacks knowledge and interest in foreign affairs. Interest. She has nothing on record. Someone who is interested in how our country relates to others will have said something about it in their lifetimes. Barack Obama sure as hell did, but Sarah Palin's record is so empty that Fox News, her biggest supporter, actually tried to convince us that she is qualified because Alaska is close to the country of Russia. Not only that, but she actually dodges the softball questions, the softballs on foreign policy. The first time she was asked about Iraq after she became Alaska's governor last year, she said, "Oh, I'm so busy with Alaska that I'm not even able to think about Iraq." And the second time she gave an answer, look it up, that was so incoherent that it rivals Miss Teen South Carolina's opinion on why we don't have maps. The last thing I want to say about foreign policy is that in 1996 and 2000, she was a devoted supporter and fundraiser for the Pat Buchanan presidential campaign. Who's he? You can look him up too. He's a far-right fringe candidate who runs on an America-only, forget the rest of the world platform. She doesn't want to think about the world. She doesn't want that. Now, in the movie, Fred Savage would probably figure it out. He'd go to Iraq and he'd play the electric guitar or something, and the Sunnis and the Shia would break dance, and then the problem would be solved. But Sarah doesn't know how to play the electric guitar. So she'd do what Bush did and let the neocon advisors pick the next country to start a war with. Sarah Palin is not an evil person, as far as I can tell. Some people are going in that direction, but I'm not going to be one of them just yet. I'm not convinced there's enough grist for the mendacity mill yet. She was a whistleblower on the State Energy Commission. Hey, that's really good. So my gut tells me she's actually a pretty great person with an awesome, loving family and sincerely held draconian fundamentalist beliefs. She believes that God created man and apes separately, and she wants that taught in science class. She thinks that stem cells should be thrown away instead of helping to cure Parkinson's disease, and she insists, to the point of suing the federal government over this, that the Arctic ice is a fine habitat, the polar bears are going to be just fine, and we have no influence over global warming. More recently, she's made somewhat opposite statements about global warming, no doubt to make her a little more palatable to rational people. She is your best friend's hot mom who is totally awesome to hang out with, but has the weirdest beliefs. If this team wins, Roe versus Wade will be overturned. Not only that, but in Sarah Palin's America, if a man attacks you in the street and rapes and impregnates you, I'm sorry to conjure this image, but you are having that baby, whether you like it or not. If your dad comes into your room and pins you down and you end up pregnant, or your brother, you are having that baby. Again, I apologize, it's disgusting to think about, but it happens in the real world. And in Sarah Palin's 6,000-year-old Adam and Eve world, you are having that baby. She's a nice lady, in over her head, unprepared for the job, and totally out of step with America. And that has consequences. It had consequences when George Bush chose his buddy, Michael Brown, to head FEMA, and together they watched New Orleans drown. I'm willing to give someone a pass on years of experience if you can demonstrate high competence. But I am stunned at the prospect of calling this woman my president. The experience issue is not equivalent between her and Obama, and you're going to hear that. You're going to hear people making them equivalent. There is an order of magnitude of preparation between this former president of the Harvard Law Review and this recent small-town mayor with a bachelor's in communication from the University of Idaho. So we've got two problems. First, Sarah Palin might just have the charm that it takes to sell the old man to the voters. She is warm and friendly and charming, and I will give you, well-intentioned. And she's going to be given a lot of really great lines about foreign policy and a lot of other issues that make her sound really smart. But the second problem, the old man might not last 4 years. And then the new Michael Brown will be the president. Sorry, I have to stop now. I just crapped my pants.